Hello, how are you doing today? कसे आहात? सो तुम्हाला माहिती आहे की सध्या आपल्याकडे बिझनेस कम्युनिकेशन बोनांझा चालू आहे. म्हणजे बिझनेस कम्युनिकेशन बद्दल आपण भरपूर सारा शिकायचा प्रयत्न करतो. So let's start today's session. Today we are going to learn about conducting a meeting. And as we were talking and talking and talking for throughout the sessions of the yesterday, we have planned a huge Goa trip. And for that Goa trip, we need a lot of meetings. We need more of convincing to the parents. We need to manage the budgets. And for all that and the bookings and everything, we need a lot of meetings. And basically, we need a leader, that is a chairperson in the meeting. So what is the role of chairperson in the meeting? Before calling the meeting in order, a chair should be sure of a quorum is present. Quorum is the minimum number of members who must be present at the meeting before business can be legally transacted. So quorum is the minimum number of members which should be present during the meeting. If there is no quorum, the meeting is adjourned. And then after that, you can take meeting at the particular said pre-described time. And at that time, quorum is not required. The requirement of quorum is a protection against unrepresentative, or we can say underrepresentation, and while taking decision in the name of association by unduly small number of people. In the absence of quorum, any business transacted is null and void. So if there is no quorum during the meeting as it is required, then the decisions taken are not binding. So you can't say the decisions are bound. So it is null and void. If the meeting is to arrive at any fruitful conclusion in very necessary, that is, it is very necessary that it should be properly chaired. So there must be a chairperson in the meeting. One of the reasons why so many meetings are futile and a waste of time is that the chairperson is chosen on account of his position of seniority and not on account of his ability. So generally, the chairperson should be able-bodied. He should be capable of making decision. He should be capable of being the person who can handle the meeting, who can control the meeting. Okay, then playing the role of chairperson is an art, and as an art, it can be improved and developed by training and practice. So what are the qualities of the chairperson? First is punctuality, like that is time management and being present on the pre-described time. So it sends a strong message to the members who come often late that punctuality is very necessary. He should follow the plan. The chairperson, as a leader of an assembled group, has a vital function to perform during the meeting to guide the discussion and not allow it to become confused by side issues and random talk. So he should follow the plan. Then he should lead the meeting. The chairperson must provide drive and purpose so that the members present feel that some headway is being made. That means basically he should guide the meeting further. Sometimes this happens that during the meetings discussion, everything is so stopped, paused, or we can say everything is paused for a moment, that nothing is happening, just everyone is talking but no decision is being made. And at that point we have the leader has to say, we have now settled this point, let us turn to the next item. We have still 2 more decisions to make, let's do that. And that way he can lead and guide the meeting. Then he should encourage the members to talk. Often it is seen that the members who are lower in the positions hesitate in putting across their views. The chairperson's greatest skill lies in his ability to bring all such people into discussion, and that's why he should not only talk, or he should not be the only member talking, but he should encourage others to talk and share their ideas. He should work on hidden agenda. Wow, that's a secret agenda. So chairperson has to constantly work on hidden agenda. By hidden emotional agenda is mean that feeling, ambitions, attitudes, and beliefs of the members present. So generally, whenever there are people present in a group, or if the group is present, every individual has his own feelings, own ambitions, own goals. And to fulfill those goals, that individual is going to try to convert or to mold that meeting according to his plan or her plan. And that's what should not happen during the meeting. And that's why the chairperson has to work on hidden agenda. The chairperson must learn to recognize the items of the hidden agenda present and make correct judgments about when to suppress them and when to encourage their open expression. So during our Goa trip, if somebody has his hidden agenda of doing some harsh things or doing some illegal things, and if the chairperson among you finds that, and he should find as a leader, then he should recognize that and he should just block that person. He should avoid that person from coming to trip, or at least he should manage the budget in a way that that illegal activity will not be carried out by that person. So in a way, you can see the leader has a lot to do as a chairperson of a meeting. And what are the basic qualities of leader? One is punctuality, then following the plan. He should lead the meeting. He should encourage other members to talk, and he should work on hidden agenda. So hopefully, you know the basic qualities and necessities to become the chairperson in the meeting. Let's see one example of hidden agenda. In the Replix company, the managing director called a meeting of senior executives once in every 15 days. For several months, he failed to understand why the meetings got bogged down and progress was not made. Then he began to listen to the hidden agenda and discovered why the meetings were not successful. The new materials manager, Mr. Neve, had received his training in USA, and he was greatly disliked by other managers because of the superior airs that he put on. The other managers made it point to disagree with whatever Neve said, even if his suggestions were the good of the company. In the following meetings, the MD, managing director, made it to the point to see that Neve first agreed to the suggestions made by the other managers before he put forward his own suggestions. From then on, the meetings were more cordial and much progress was made. So this was how hidden agenda can be found out. The next thing is, or the next quality is control time. During the meetings, a chairperson must consider the time limit. He should control time. He must determine how much time would be required to cover each item. Okay. So he may find it very helpful to announce the time goals at the beginning of to remind the members of the time status throughout the meeting. In a way, he should first manage time. He should follow the time. And secondly, he should make other peoples to follow the time. Then the next one is summarize at appropriate places. After an important item has been discussed, the chairperson should summarize what a group has covered and concluded. In a way, he should summarize the meeting from time to time, not just at the end, so that he will get the guided way to guide the meeting. Okay, so these are a few qualities that are required by the chairperson. As I mentioned, punctuality, following the plan, leading the meeting, encouraging members to talk, working on hidden agenda, controlling the time, and summarization at appropriate places. Now let's see, we have seen the role of chairperson in the meeting. Now let's see the role of participants in the meeting. The members are in the prime players in the meeting, and their cooperation and contribution is essential to the effectiveness of the meeting. The members of the meetings are not mere participants, but they too have certain duties. Let's see. First, they should follow the agenda put up in the meeting. Participants should not bring up items which are not on the agenda. Secondly, they should participate. He should contribute ideas, opinions, views, suggestions based on his own knowledge and experience. Thirdly, he should avoid talking too much. A member should not talk a lot, talk and talk and talk and talk, so that others will get bored. He should speak only if he has something to say, and if it is logical and to the scope of meeting. Then he should cooperate. I mean, he or she, obviously, he or she, who is the member, whoever it is, They should cooperate with all the concerned. A meeting is effective only if there is a cooperation among the members. If there is controversies, if there is arguments during the meeting, constant arguments, there is a possibility that meeting can lead to failure, and there will be no decisions made during the meeting, which is necessary agenda for the meeting. And then there is a practice courtesy. So we as a Indian people lack this kind of manner a lot, practicing courtesy. He should be courteous to the other members. Courteous means he should well mannered, he should be polite, not too polite, but polite. Especially, he should respect and follow the rules laid down by the chairperson. In a way, he should know, or she should know, that the chairperson's word will be the last word. But till then, he should be opine, he should be polite, and yet he should be logical, and he should be courteous to the other members. So hopefully you know what is the role of participants in the meeting. Firstly, participants should follow the agenda. They should participate with contribution to ideas, opinions, views, suggestions, and their knowledge and experience. During the meeting, they should avoid talking too much. They should cooperate with others and practice courtesy. Then we know that during the meeting, there are two major aspects. First is chairperson and other is the members of meeting. Then after the meeting is done, the meeting follow-up should be done. That means there should be minutes and reports have to be written. Meeting minutes are very important because they summarize all the meetings, and also a copy of these should be given to all the participants, showing recommended actions, schedules, and responsibilities. So not just a private, but there should be accountability and transparency in making minutes and reports. A short memorandum or email as a follow-up to what was decided can also be sent. In a way, what has happened during the meeting, what are the decisions made, and in a way a short form of memorandum or an email of a follow-up can be very impressive action on part of meeting arrangers. And then a formal summary is made if in the meeting very controversial ideas were discussed. So in a way, if the controversial ideas are discussed during the meeting, a formal summary where you summarize the meeting in a very polite and yet very realistic way, it should be necessary as a follow-up of meeting. So since when we started this session, we learned about few things. First of all, how to conduct a meeting, in which we first learned about role of chairperson in the meeting. Then we learned about the role of participants in the meeting and following up of meeting. Then the next session is how do group dynamics affect the quality of a meeting. People often behave differently in groups than they do as individuals. Group dynamics refer to the study of human behaviors in a group. And believe me, I have learned and studied a lot of essays, a lot of research papers, which involves the group dynamics. Do you know, when we talk to our friends, we don't consider race, caste, creed, or religion of that person. But whenever we talk in a group, more often in today's world, we talk about race, racial discrimination, religion, religious discrimination, and everything. So that is how group dynamics work. If one person is not angry, very calm as a single individual, he might be very aggressive and perform aggressive functions in the group. So often these interactions are profitable as they produce whenever there are group discussions, meetings, to understand the group dynamics, these discussions, interactions are very profitable and they produce greater creativity, better problem solving, and more energy. In meetings particularly, there can be possible downside of team dynamics, which can include greater and more frequent conflict. Stalemates and extroverted personalities dominating other. You have often seen that during a meeting or even the group chat, or even a WhatsApp chat, you can say Whenever there are chat going on, whenever there is talking going on, there is 1-2 people, individuals who dominate the discussion. It's not their maybe inherent agenda, but it's their inherent capabilities. And sometimes these stalemates, extroverted personalities, it completely dominate the discussions. Most of the time in a group, following tendencies we can understand and see. Firstly, personalities. Extrovert and aggressive individuals, subvert more introvert and passively compliant among the group. So we can't blame both. Extroverts are by nature, introverts are by nature, but generally this happens that by nature extroverts subvert more introverted and compliant people among the group. Then role assumptions. Part of dynamics of group meeting is the employees assume role. Playing parts together as a team strengthens unity, given everyone a sense of belonging. But remember that whenever we are talking together, we are sharing ideas and backgrounds. Generally, we assume the role. If one person is better at talking, he will be the addresser. If one person is better at writing, he will be the report writing. So we just assume role, which happens during the group discussions or the meetings, and there shows they shows the they show the variant group dynamics. And then there is the coalition. Alliance formed between like-minded individuals often make working together a smooth and enjoyable process. Whenever you talk to people, to you get a chance to link with like-minded people, then it's very nice to work with them. However, these relationships can become detrimental to the group of as a whole. So generally we can say it is a core group under the big group, or there is this sharing of glances, sharing of lots of gossips within the group dynamics, which we can say has a negative repercussions on the other employees who feel left out. And you can see such group dynamics even in your college life, in your working life, in your society, at your home, everywhere. Then the next part of the group dynamics is leadership. The manager of a group is a leader of the meetings. She or he must take control of the group so that the natural interactions that occur can be steered in a direction of team unity of the companies and place the company's vision. The leader must observe behavior and listen attentively to the goings on the group so that she can react appropriately, decisively, and quickly to make sure the meetings is on track and productive. So leadership role to control the group dynamics is quite necessary. So when we are talking about the group dynamics and how the group dynamics affect the quality of the meeting, we learn few tendencies in the group dynamics, that is different personalities, role assumption, coalition, and leadership. Then how group dynamics can be managed during the meetings? There are many techniques to assist the facilitator or the chairperson in managing this agenda and group dynamics during the meeting. So firstly, we can say equalizing participation. He can do that as a chairperson. The facilitator or a chairperson is responsible for the fair contribution of attention during meeting, and facilitator call the attention of the group to the one speaker at a time so that everybody gets equal chance, and there will be no problems, behavioral problems such as racism, sexism, or like internal dynamics such as experience, seniority, fear, shyness, disrespect, ignorance, something like that. Inequalities can be corrected in many creative ways. So this was first, equalizing participation to avoid group dynamics. Then the second is listing to help the discussion flow more smoothly. Those who want to speak can silently signal that facilitator who would add a person's name to a list of those who wish to speak and call on them in that order. So in a way, who the chairperson wants to listen can be decided by him. Then stacking. If many people want to speak at the same time, it is useful to ask all of them who would like to speak and to raise their hand so that they can be called to speak one by one. and the facilitator might call for another stack or try another technique. Then pacing, the pace or a flow of meeting is the responsibility of chairperson or a facilitator. If the atmosphere of the meeting starts to become more tense, choose techniques which encourage balance and cooperation. If the meeting is going slowly, people are becoming restless, suggest the stretch or rearrange the agenda so that the working will be smooth. Then checking the process. If the flow of meeting is breaking down, sorry, or if one person or small group seems to be dominating, anyone can call into question the technique being used and suggest an alternative. So in a way, we can say that we can check the process as a chairperson and make it smooth to avoid the dynamics. Then there is a silence. If the pace is too fast, if energies and tensions are too high, if people are speaking out of the turn or interrupting one another, it is appropriate for anyone to suggest a moment of silence of to calm and refocus energy. If you want to know how actually the meetings are turned out, please go through Rajya Sabha or Lok Sabha TV if you get chance, because they have a particular and very constructed agenda of how meetings should be carried out and how group dynamics work. Then taking break is also often a good way to make sure to reduce resistance, and the facilitator who is wise, he knows more often than not that 5 minutes break will save a frustrating half hour and more of circular discussions and fruitless debate. Then call for consensus. The facilitator or any member recognized to speak by the facilitator can call for the test of consensus. To do this, the facilitator asks if there are any unresolved concerns which remain unaddressed. So in a way, during the summarizing, the facilitator might choose to focus what was being said by the summarizing. After reformulating the proposal of the meeting, after a long discussion, to save the time, he can rearrange the agenda with the new information, modification and deletions. He can make the meeting go smoother to avoid group dynamics. Then he can step out the role of facilitator, and then he can become involved in a discussion as a member of a meeting. A facilitator can step out of a role and participate in the discussion, allowing other members to facilitate during that time. Passing the clipboard. Sometimes information needs to be collected during the meeting. To save time, circulate a clipboard to collect the information. Once collected, it can be entered into the written record and or presented to the group of the facilitators. Then there is polling. The usefulness of polling within consensus is primarily clarification of the relative importance of several issues. It is an especially useful technique when the facilitator is confused or uncertain about the status of proposal. In a way, we can say polls are just, have you seen electoral polls? They are called exit polls. So they are not the decisions or results of the poll, but they are mere the estimates on that, on whose part or whose party will going to win, which party will have more winning votes. Whereas censoring is another part to control the group dynamics, because with the censoring technique, facilitator can avoid the unwanted and very impolite words from the meeting. That means a person will not be permitted to speak for the rest of agenda team when he is censored. If the interrupting behavior of a person exhibited over several agenda items, then censoring could be for a longer period of time. And तुम्हाला जर आठवत असेल, if you remember, few of the MLAs were disregarded, were silenced, and even they were fired from their role in our Vidhan Sabha, Vidhi Mandal in Maharashtra. I think the number was 15 or 25. I'm just confused between numbers. But yeah, it can be referred to the censoring. And remember, you can get a good questions about right note on polling, right note on censoring. So please don't avoid this. And the last part of this session is expulsion. to avoid the group dynamics. If an individual still acts very disruptively, the facilitator may confront his behavior, ask that person to explain the reason for this behavior, like a show cause notice, and how it is in the best interest of the group, how it relates to the group's purpose, and how it is keeping with the goals and principles. If the person is unable to answer these questions, and if the answers indicate disagreement with the common purpose, then the facilitators can ask the individuals to withdraw from the meeting. In a way, expulsion is the, so we can say the last example I showed you. If I make, as a facilitator, if I made certain member silenced, then that can be called as censoring. While if I just make him withdraw from the meeting as a facilitator, then that can be called as expulsion. So these are the ways in which the facilitator or the chairperson of meeting can avoid the group dynamics and make the meeting go smoother. So what are they? First is equalizing participation, listing, stacking, pacing, checking the process, silence, taking a break, call for consensus, summarizing, reformulating the proposal, stepping out of a role, then passing the clipboard, polling, censoring, and expulsion. So hopefully you get that. From the next session, we are going to see the notice of a meeting. Again, quite important part, and we'll see it in the next session. So till then, have a nice day ahead. Ciao.